Hi, this is Brandon Smiley here from thirstgym.com. Today we're talking about an exercise called the conventional rack pull versus chains. All right, for this exercise, you're going to want a barbell and a rack with a rod and pipe based system or some kind of safety catch based system to put the bar in. And ideally, you're going to want this bar somewhere just below the knee to mid shin. This is going to be a sweet spot. This is a little bit high for me based on this rack. This is for demo purposes. But that's going to be the area that most lifters are going to struggle at in terms of getting the bar not only moving, but transitioning around the knee in their deadlift. The other thing you're going to want is chains, and ideally you're going to want around 20 to 25% chain weight of your best deadlift. And with the rack pull setup, you got some options, kind of depends on how you're built. I'm pretty short, so I know that I can just take the chains, my nice big 5/8 chains here, and I can just drape them over the bar and I'm gonna get the accommodating resistance that I want. If I took these easy loaders I had from Elite FTS, these are also nice. What I can do, if I was taller, I could lay them over the bar here and then hook the chains against them and then the chains could hang. However, with this variation for me and how short I am, I don't really get a whole lot of chain from the bottom of the exercise. And then I get a little bit at the top but not quite as much as I would want. Where I get a little bit more variability here with hanging the chains off of it. And then obviously if I wanted to do this exercise, I would probably put 3 or 4 chains on each side to be able to get the amount of accommodating resistance that I want. But this is just an option that I wanted to talk about. So kind of set this up based upon how you are built. In more cases than not, I'm gonna say you're probably gonna try to put the chains on the barbell. The only time you wanna make sure you're not doing that is if when you stand all the way top of the exercise and the chains are dangling off the ground, all of them, they're never touching the ground, you probably want to use an easy loader or some kind of different chain loading system to be able to maximize it. So there's always at least a little bit of chain on the ground. Now in terms of how we do it, we're just gonna get our normal conventional stance, feet are underneath our hips, looking straight forward. I'm gonna hinge backwards, grab the barbell, big breath, wedge in, meet the bar at the top, and then come down. And so as you can tell, I'm trying to wedge myself into position, and as I stand up, more and more of those chains are coming off the ground, and I can feel that weight at the top, and it's helping me work on my lockout and my glute strength. Now, the key thing here when it comes to positioning and everything else, you want to set these pins just under around where you have issues or right around where you have issues. That way you're being forced to push through a range of motion that you're not strong at, and that teaches you to accelerate and move through that sticking point. In terms of your programming for this, I really like doing this against chains for one main reason, and that's because the grind feels heavier, especially for your main exercise. If this is your main exercise for the day, chains are gonna make you grind and fight through weights really well, but they're also very manageable. They continue to move pretty well where the bands are constantly pulling you down. So I like this for grinding-based athletes more so than explosive-based athletes. Now, the next thing I'll say is that when it comes to doing this for top single or double is kind of preferred because it is a concentric only exercise and we're really just focusing on that main area, that transition or just below the knee area. And we really want to make sure that we can not only think while loads are heavy, but we can put ourselves in position to get there. If we do really high reps, it's a lot easier to get ourselves into position where we need to be, and then we are ingraining good movement patterns there, but usually the weight's not heavy enough to elicit the response that we want. So I really like this for main movements. If you are gonna do it as a secondary or a supplemental based exercise, do it after your main deadlift work, and then I'm gonna suggest that you do it for sets of like 2 to 3, really trying to own your position each time and do it for more sets. So instead of just doing one big single or double for the day as your main movement, you might do 3 to 5 sets of 1 to 2, really focusing on your positioning, driving through that position as you go to do it. Anything over 5 reps to me is a waste of time. I wouldn't do it. And the other thing to make sure I'm specific on here is you don't want to bounce the barbell off the rack. Let it come to complete stop, reset, and go again, because again, we're trying to work on the rate of force or how quickly you can get that bar to break off the pins. If you're bouncing it, you're kind of defeating the purpose of the exercise. So if you got any questions about this, just let me know in the comment section below. Thanks. Have a great day.